You won't believe what I'm experiencing in the field. I'll tell you why I'm wearing this cape. And you won't believe some of the real estate numbers right now in Peel and Durham region. So I spend a lot of time working with buyers and sellers every day. Let me tell you my experience just with one couple. We went out this past weekend, looking at properties. And before we went out, I researched 9 properties. In that research, 7 of those 9 are properties that had previously been listed at a higher price and now have reduced those price. So that's 7 out of the 9. We picked 6 properties to go see. As we're going out to see those properties, one of those went sold conditional. So they had an offer on it, sold conditional. So now, although there's potential in buying something that's sold conditional, let's say now we got 5 properties to focus on. We know that 3 of those 5 properties have an offer date. So price has been reduced to where, let's just say the price is correct, that they're actually going to get multiple offers. That's the assumption. We don't know for sure until we analyze the prices further. Well, we look at the 5 properties. 2 of those my clients really like. And one of those 2, the next day on Monday, has 2 offers on it. Their number 1 choice has offers set for Tuesday. Well, that evening on Tuesday, we did put an offer. We were one of 8 offers. The property sold sold firm now. I don't know the actual number it's sold at, but I know it's well over the asking price. This is what I'm experiencing in certain parts of the GTA, certain parts of the Peel and Durham region, and I know a lot of you are not going to believe that. If you're not active right now, and you're just kind of observing real estate because it's interesting to you, you will find this hard to believe. If you are active, if you're physically looking to buy right now, or you're looking to sell, you're going to believe what I'm saying. But unless you're in the other pockets of the GTA where there's not a lot going on, because I also have buyers where so far this year, the first 4 weeks, I've not been able to really show them anything new that's changed in their neighborhood. So some neighborhoods, lots of action, lots of activity. Others, scarce, not a lot of new properties to look at. And I don't have the only buyers looking at those neighborhoods. So when a new listing does come up and it's priced right and it's a favorable listing, there's going to be lots of buyers really interested. This is not a market where prices are plummeting. This is not at all a market like that. And I'm saying this, it's just what my experience is in the field. And why? I guess the big question is, why is this happening? And I don't have a definitive answer, but when you start kind of looking at it and thinking of things, and I talk to my clients obviously about what's going on, I know there's a lot of buyers that have been sitting on the sidelines for a big part of last year that now have decided interest rates are what they are, prices have come down quite a bit, and they've not really seen a lot of change in prices for a good part, the last quarter, the last 4 or 5 months of last year. There's not really been a big difference in prices coming down. So I know a lot of buyers are thinking, well, this is it, and they've jumped back into the market. I know a lot of sellers have adjusted their price to the new norm. They get it that what the neighbor sold for is probably what my house is going to sell for, and new prices have been set for the neighborhood. So sellers are pricing their homes properly. Look, this is what's happening out there. Is it something that's going to last? I don't know. And when I get into the actual numbers later on in this video, there's a lot of correlation as to what's happened, what the numbers show, and how active things are out there. And you know, say all you want about interest rates, all you want, prices are maybe too high, but buyers are back, sellers have adjusted prices, and right now public sentiment is things are pretty active in a lot of parts of the GTA. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let me tell you now why I'm wearing this cape. This is why we're wearing capes.
The fine folks at the Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital have found the absolute coolest way to raise funds in support of kids and youth with disabilities. They're going to be hosting an event called Capes for Kids. It's at the Raptors 905 game this Monday, February 6th at 7 p.m. at the Paramount Fine Food Center, and the goal is to make it into the Guinness Book of World Records for most amount of people wearing capes in one building. I think the record stands at about 2,266. I'm sure we're going to beat that.
We can beat that.
It's hosted by Pascal Siakam. There's going to be other faces that you guys know. So if you're free, again, Monday night, February 6th, join us. We're going to be there. It's in support of a great cause. We hope to see you guys there.
If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, we've made it really simple. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. You know, earlier I talked about what I was experiencing in the field. And we can get reports from all sorts of different professionals, people with degrees and masters and all this education and high professional positions out there. And they can measure all the numbers. But what none of them can measure is public sentiment. What's the seller thinking, feeling? What's the buyer thinking, feeling? And my experience of what I'm seeing in the field is exactly that. I'm sharing with you what's happening in the streets of the GTA dealing with buyers and sellers. That's public sentiment. And it doesn't matter what anybody says, how we react is the information I'm sharing with you. It doesn't matter what's happening in the rest of Canada. What's happening in the GTA is the only thing that concerns me when I talk to you about our experience in real estate. Let's get into the numbers. Okay, so here, blue is Mississauga, the green is Brampton, and the red, that's the Durham region. These are average sold prices for detached properties only. For Durham, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. For week ending January 25th, basically from Durham to Brampton, $198,000, $200,000 apart in average sold price. From Brampton to Mississauga, $203,000. So again, another $200,000 apart. So $200,000, $200,000 is what spreads Mississauga, Brampton, and the Durham region as far as average sold prices go. We're going to start off with Mississauga. Detached properties only, I keep stressing that. For a whole year broken down by week, we used to be here. Actually, the following week, we're going to get rid of that high price and start down here. But we were here, we are now here. This is all that really matters. We compared to a year ago for fun, for interest. But if you're looking to be active, it doesn't matter what happened a year ago. The trend right now is the most important part. So, week ending January 25th, 22 detached properties were sold in Mississauga. 2 of those were at $2 million or more. I've kind of enhanced that to let you know those 2 that sold over $2 million or more, one of them sold at $3.2 million and the other one sold at $3.3 million. So way beyond $2 million. And under $1 million out of those 22 properties, 3 properties sold below $1 million. Average sold price from one week to the next went up a bit. It's now sitting at $1,426,000. 1426 is 34% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. You're going to see these huge percentage differences for the next few weeks, for the next month or so, or a month and a half, just because we're comparing now to the peak versus where we are now, so those numbers are going to be way off. Median price of $1,283,000 is 30% lower than where the median price was a year ago. If we look at the 4-week moving average, going back about 2.5 to 3 months, the 4-week moving average, sorry, that's the dotted line. I'm trying to read this here. It looks like for average sold price, it's sloping down. Median price looks quite steady over the span of 3 months. And, you know, this is kind of what I was sort of talking about earlier. I talked about public sentiment. I believe buyers are starting to feel that these are the prices. We've sat back, we've waited. They haven't seen much movement in prices in a while. They're jumping in. That's what we're seeing out there right now. Sales. Well, the blue is last year's sales. The orange is this year. We do expect sales to be increasing each week as we come out of the holiday season. As we head towards spring, we do expect sales to be increasing. And that's what's happening in Mississauga. For listings, I put a question mark. I'm a little bit surprised. I would have expected more listings. We do expect listings to increase, but that's not, I mean, it has increased. We went from 24 to 56, but then we went down to 49 and 49 again. I would have expected more. This is part of the problem in some parts of Mississauga where there's just not a lot of properties available, but the buyers are there. Buyers are looking. So when a good property comes on, lots of people jump on it. Months of inventory. We've come down out of the holiday season. We're sitting now at 2.3 months of inventory. Nowhere near a balanced market. 2.3 is far away from what we would normally call a balanced market, which is between 4 months and 6 months of inventory. Okay, Brampton, 37 detached properties were sold. 2 of those were at $2 million or more. One was at 2.2 million, one was at 2.9 million. And 11 properties, so almost a third, 11 properties sold below $1 million. Average sold price went up from 1 week to the next to $1,223,000. $1,223,000 is 26% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price of $1,105,000 is 30% lower than where the median price was a year ago. The dotted line, 4-week moving average for the last 3 months, it's been up and down, but quite, you know, the median looks like it's been down, but the average is pretty steady, it looks like. Although it's up, it's down, it's up again. It's kind of where it is now is where it was 3 months ago. Here's sales. Now I got 2 arrows. The blue is last year. Sales last year were coming up aggressively. Sales in Brampton this year, they're going up each week. They're increasing each week, but not as aggressively. I mean, we went from 23 to 25 to 28 to 37. They haven't really jumped up so much. And listings are increasing a little bit more. We listed 87 detached properties last week, which is pretty much what we did the week before. Active listings, though, there are properties to choose from. We have 317 active listings in Brampton for week ending January 25th, which is 5 times the amount of listings we had a year ago at this time. That's a lot of extra properties out there, and it's not like we are buying that much more. If I can go back, sales are much lower than they were a year ago. Active listings much higher. Months of inventory, it's been coming down every week. As months of inventory goes down, we do expect prices to go up. We're sitting at 2.0 months of inventory for Brampton for detached properties. Here's the Durham region. And again, let me remind you, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. 39 detached properties were sold. No properties sold at $2 million or more. 16 detached properties sold below $1 million. Average sold price came down 1 week to the next, now sitting at $1,025,000. $1,025,000 is 33% lower than where the price was a year ago. Those are those big numbers again last year, this year. Median price of $1,044,000 is 26% lower than where the median price was a year ago. And it looks like for the Durham region, for the areas I'm focused on, the 4-week moving average for both average price and median price, looks like over the span of the previous 2 months, prices are actually going up a little bit. Sales are up week after week. 39 detached properties were sold. And let me go back. 54% of those 39, so 19 or so, sold at list price or more. So more than half of the properties sold in the Durham region are at list price or more. Listings are up. 63 were listed. We have 143 active listings in the Durham region. Months of inventory, this is totally nuts here. We're sitting at 0.8 months of inventory. First week out of, well, still part of the holiday season was 4.8. We tapered down to 1.4, then 1.2. Now it's 0.8 months of inventory. This is forget about the idea of it being a buyer's market. You can get your thoughts away from, oh, it's a balanced market. It is not a balanced market in Durham region right now, especially for the areas that I'm talking about. It is very much a seller's market. Here's condos. This is for all of Peel region. 29 condos were sold. One of those was at $1 million or more. Average sold price is $578,000. $578 is 20% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. And the median price of $550 is 19% lower than where the median price was a year ago. The 4-week moving average looks like both average and median price sloping down, but just slightly, not that much over the span of the last 2.5, 3 months. Sales, well, when compared to last year, it's a huge difference in sales. We're selling like way off the pace from where we were last year. 29 sales were done, only 7% sold at list price or more. Listings, we're basically listing what we listed last year. So sales far fewer than a year ago, listings pretty much the same. We have 8.5 times the amount of active listings of properties available for sale. These are condos though. 8.5 times more condos available for sale this year than we had a year ago. Months of inventories for condos across Peel sitting at 2.6 months of inventory. Here's a summary. This is what's happening, and this is as a result of what buyers and sellers are feeling. We're seeing more and more sellers now have adjusted price. Many of these properties have been out at a higher price and have been reduced. Buyers have come back into the fold. Look, is it going to last? I can't predict that, but right now, this is what's happening in the streets of the GTA, in Mississauga, in Brampton, and across Durham region. Have a great day.